I think the Red Wings have put themselves ahead of the curve as far as the rest of the Detroit sports landscape goes. I think that people have bailed prematurely on the Pistons. As Terry said, it's looking pretty glum for Pistons fans right now. However, you have Cade Cunningham, but it's a different animal too. But we'll get to that in a second.
Absolutely.
Has Steve Yzerman maybe? I'm kind of thinking of the best way to put this. Have Steve Yzerman
done what he was always going to do?
Altered the reality for the other Detroit sports teams. And you said doing what he always was going to do.
He's been there the whole time. It's the reality of he's coming in with everybody else had something to prove. He's coming in with the track record. Right?
Interesting.
He's coming in with the rest, all other three of them, Al Avila, through the organization. Now you bring in A.J. Hinch, which in baseball, in that organization, when you show me that he gets players that he wants, that means he's sort of the coach GM, even though he's the manager, stuff like this. But Al's got it. You look at Brad Holmes, first-time job, pedigree, in drafts and everything else has moved on. Also, too, you look at Troy Weaver. He came over, getting his first opportunity, and with what he's done, he's the one. If you look at the Pistons, him and Steve Yzerman are the closest because he had a game plan from day one, implode, right? And then see where the smoke clears, and then we work from here. He's still working. He got his piece, though, right? He got that beachfront property on the cliff wherever he wanted with everything else. Now he's got to develop everything through it. There's no road there yet, and everything else. He's got to get the pieces. But what Steve Yzerman has done is that here's the thing, Neal, is he's played out. Let's use an analogy of Settlers of Catan for Sawyer, right? He's the most solid player as far as what he's trying to do, because now we can see not only on the ice with the development of guys he's drafted, but guys that he's kept, guys he's believed in, the Dylan Larkins, some of the older veteran guys, and then what he's got in the pipeline. Then you look at the draft capital, then you look at the salary cap. So when I look at the Red Wings, and they're not a playoff team this year, they're inconsistent individually, but his plan all around it, the development, right? There's no development in the district, but Steve Yzerman's development of the Red Wing organization is full 100% of what's coming, right? There's a development downtown. What, you don't like, what, did I say something that wasn't true? I apologize. Not, but that's the one thing. So I just think that this was the thing that was sort of expected, but he was also ahead of the game. Do you not remember he spent how long down in Tampa? 8 years? Doing that, cutting his chops, figuring it out, figuring how he was going to do this. That's why I always said is that knowing him is I expect him to do it quicker. So I expect it to be 24, 25. And that's what I mean, getting back to legitimately sitting here going, man, this team could win the Stanley Cup.
And Terry, so that's my question to you then. Did Yzerman ruin it for everybody else, just in the strides that he's made in such a short amount of time? And I think people are underselling what Troy Weaver did because he flipped an entire roster in 10 months.
He did.
A whole roster in the NBA.
He got his beachfront property and got worse. That's the thing that you have to look at with the Pistons. You would think there would be a little bit of a gradual incline this year, and it hasn't been. But Steve Yzerman, when you look at this team, it's not a finished product, not even close. But you can see the future. You can look at that and say, oh, I can see what he's thinking about, how this leads to a championship team. You can at least see the future. With these other teams, you kind of got to snoop around and uncover some things. Say, okay, now I see what he's doing. But Yzerman is making it crystal clear.
And there's a clear
transparent with his word. Listen to him talk. It's not coded, scripted, or whatever else. And to my point, too, he was ahead of the game. He had, so if he's in the upper management when I won a cup in 2008, I mean, there's 15 years of learning of how watching hockey from the broadcast level, from up where Terry watches it. How many games have you watched? You get an idea when you have that passion. So I think that he came in with way more of the resume, or I guess the toolbox, right? to build this team. And I think that what we're finally seeing, Neal, here's the thing. We're finally seeing it in front of us. So to Terry's point, there's different challenges for the different teams. To the point is that when we look at it, if we're going to be realistic, the Pistons might have held ground or depreciated a little bit. But the key is, though, they have their guy. They have the pillar. So it's easier to bounce back from that.
It's crazy
Quicker.
to me when Yzerman. I mean, just 2 years ago, you had Franz Nielsen making $5.5 million. You had Justin Abdicator making $4.2 million. You had Jimmy Howard making $4 million. A 33-year-old Darren Helm making $3 million. I mean, it's incredible how he washed everything out.
Hey, you made it all the way through. I'm so proud of you. Why don't you make me more proud? Like, subscribe, and watch another video.